Hey guys, it's Mike Monty, one half of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And we want to reach out to all the fans out there who have supported our show to say thank you. Thank you for making 2021 one of our best years. And one of our best years was because of Anchor. Anchor, the way that you can have your voice heard. You can be just like us. Record your own podcast. Use the Anchor tools to edit your podcast. Use it on a phone. Use it on your computer. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all with Anchor, they're totally free. So be just like Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're looking together for a great 2022. We've got huge guests coming on board. Oh, yeah. You probably wonder why Jimmy's not here right now. Well, he's prepping for one of the best interviews we're about to have, and we're going to surprise someone with. So hang aboard with us, and don't forget, be like us and use Anchor.
Method of business would persist until the formation of the National Wrestling Alliance in 1948. The NWA as a central governing body, with its singular, undisputed world champion, would be absolute and undeniable. This control, combined with the expansion of the interstate highway system, and the inevitable popularity and availability of regional television, would usher in an era of wrestling that was defined by what would come to be known as the territory system. The territory system would dominate wrestling for nearly 4 decades, while the borders, authority, popularity, and obedience of individual NWA territories was in a near constant state of flux. To this day, the impact and influence of these territories is still felt. Each territory had its own signature promoter and star. While it is impossible to cram these characteristics into a static, concrete map, we are damn sure going to try anyway.
So open up your eyes, way before it gets too late. Now one man, there's no way you can hit the streetlights running, don't give a damn. A simple explanation that you'll never find. Sinners never sacrifice. We never leave love alone. Is hate really worth the price? Look at what we've done. Never care for compromise. Always threatening someone's life, and it feels like the end of the world.
All right, it's Friday, and it's This Week in Wrestling with host Mike Monty and Jimmy Pharaoh.
Hello.
Do you think I could do like a Saturday, not Saturday Night Live, but a Tonight Show? And yes, this Week in Wrestling with your host, Jimmy Pharaoh.
You're doing Don Pardo? You're going to do the Don Pardo
I think
thing?
I can make a living doing this.
I could see it. Why not? Go for it.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Big week in wrestling.
Okay.
We're going a little bit different here, but we're gonna pretty much talk about NWA this week.
Wow.
All right, so we're not just WWE, we're not just AEW, we're not just rumors, right? We're gonna do a little NWA action.
Okay.
But first, let's talk a little WWE. Jimmy Smith thinks that the WWE and AEW will never cross-promote.
Never?
Collaboration seems to be trending with professional wrestling companies nowadays, from AEW to New Japan to NWA, and more promotions want to coexist rather than compete for supremacy.
Right.
However, Jimmy Smith, lead commentator for Monday Night Raw, firmly believes that WWE will not cross-promote with the rival AEW.
Well, that's really no revelation, is it, Jimmy Smith? Of course they won't. Because acknowledging the enemy is actually giving credit to the existence of the enemy. Vince is beyond that. Oh! They'll never give him a public.
I'm not
a
so sure
public
if Vince
nod.
is behind it. If you offer up Britt Baker to Vince for a couple of nights
But they'll never say
for a cross promotion, what do you think?
You're hired,
Exactly.
and I'm wired.
Let's do a pay-per-view.
Let's do a private pay-per-view.
Check my teeth.
What are we gonna have, a poll on a pole match?
What? A pole on a pole match? What the fuck?
Yeah, think about that one for a while, folks. When you get it, you'll be glad.
Oh,
anyway,
my God.
easy there, Vince. Anyway,
Well, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I just keep getting this envisionment of Vince naked along with Johnny Ace naked having their way with a woman, having a fun time together.
Man, ring the bell. Match over.
Ring the bell.
A double DQ.
How you doing over there, Johnny? Well, I'm pretty good, Vince.
Penis power.
Yeah.
This is bad, dude.
Unbelievable.
Very bad. Yeah, no, of course they're not going to cross-promote with AEW. It's not the WWE style to acknowledge anybody. Of course not.
And it's not even acknowledgement. It's two different wrestling companies. Sure. I mean, we had these, we discussed that if they were, and say they had Roman Reigns going against, it'll end up being John Moxley now. If you had a champion versus champion, who would win?
You know what they would do, the old thing that they used to do back in the day. Double
Different
count out, double DQ. Nobody's walking out with the other company's title. It's not happening. So it would be the same old shit.
You don't think, hypothetically...
They could do a screw job.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think Tony Khan would be weary of Vince going, you know what?
Right.
Let's do this.
Right.
And we're going to screw him over.
Wouldn't that be great? Well, how do you know Tony Khan wouldn't do it the other way around?
Well, let me ask you. Moxley Reigns, real life.
Yeah.
Real shoot.
I'm laughing already.
Real shoot.
Yeah, okay, goodbye, John.
John's done, right?
John's done. Yeah. What? He's going to beat up a Samoan, huh? One of those Samoans.
Right.
One of the Samoans from that family?
Yeah. Never.
No,
I agree.
N-O.
Now, if you put the AEW title around one of those Japanese guys, they might be a little more trained in self-defense or something like that.
Roman Reigns is still probably beating the shit out of Okada. Sorry. He's beating his ass.
Remember when we had...
However, I have said this to you before, don't count on him having an easy time with Shinsuke Nakamura. Don't count on that, because that's a legitimate tough guy.
Yeah,
Believe
could
it or
be.
not, he really is. He's a tough guy. So that would be an interesting fight. I would love to see that.
Well, when we were in the our heyday watching wrestling, right? We had Backlund in here, and we remember Backlund against Race or Backlund against Flair.
Sure.
I mean, were you around with when Bruno used to go against Baba or anything like that?
No, I didn't see that.
So of the champion versus champion matches back then, which are the most memorable for you?
The one that stands out the most to me was I want to say 1982. I might be off by a year or so, maybe 1980 even. But when Harley Race came to Madison Square Garden to fight Bob Backlund, that was fantastic. And I was actually, as a kid, and kayfabe had not been destroyed, I was actually worried for Backlund, believe it or not. This is the one time we root for Bob.
Right.
He's coming into.
Yeah.
This guy's coming into my territory. Wants to take out my champion. Screw that.
We hate
Go
Bob all the way, but an NWA guy comes in, totally different
and that,
job.
by the way, and I know that you'd probably sit there going, what a bore fest, but for me, back in those days, and when I look back at it now, it was 35 minutes. It was a very good match. I enjoyed it. Of course, it was a slow pace. You got Harley Race. You're not going to get a blistering pace.
Right.
But I thought that it was awesome. I remember that the fans were completely into it, and there was that thought that, geez, I wonder if one of these guys could take the title away and take it to their territory.
You know what I always
It was a very sexy matchup.
You know what I always remember? I remember when Backlund went down to Georgia, and he was wrestling Flair.
They did a promo together.
But you know what's funny, though?
Yeah.
Flair doesn't gimmick out that one. He's really just straight respectful to Backlund,
right.
Back then I thought was odd.
Right.
And I still think it's odd. Why didn't they do the whole woo and that stuff? Why did that not come about?
I wouldn't be surprised if Senior behind the scenes was like, listen, you're not going to show up our champion. Don't have him do his whole spiel because Bob's not built that way. And if Rick had done that, what's Bob going to do? Just
That's
stand
a good
there.
point.
Well, golly gee, I'm going to get you.
Right.
It would not. It would have been very downgrading to Bob. So they kept it straight. They kept it professional. They kept it very real approach. I thought it was fine.
I just remember Backlund's book, and then when Backlund was in here, that the rumor was that they were going to try to screw him over with Flair and get a title.
Backlund felt it.
And Backlund said he felt it,
He
and
felt
then
it.
said to Senior, because Senior was saying something's going on.
Right.
And Backlund says, let him try something.
Right. And what did Flair say? Please don't hurt me.
Please don't hurt me.
Please don't hurt me because I know if this gets real, you're walking out with both belts.
Right. And please don't ruin the NWA.
Right. exactly.
See, that's where you have to respect Senior. Senior could have been an asshole and said, Bob, I want you to shoot on this guy.
Right, of course.
He did it with San Martino and Buddy Rogers.
Right.
He could have done that.
But it was so different when he did it with San Martino and Buddy Rogers because this was to establish the company that he wound up being known for.
Right.
You know, Rogers didn't want to play ball, and he was like, he brought Bruno in purposely to take that belt from him so he could run the business the way he saw fit.
But if Senior had more of Junior in him,
oh, God, forget
he
it.
could have said, Bob, this
Right.
is the moment.
This is it.
Right?
Absolutely. Vince Jr. would have done something like that.
Pay off the referee, whoever it is, right? Back then, God knows what you had to pay
Right.
someone to screw
Right.
someone over, and probably peanuts, right?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, though, at the end of the day, Vince did better than just screw over the champion in the ring. He took down all the territories in real life.
in the reality
he was like,
of it.
I don't need to kayfabe this thing with, pinning it. I'll just
do it for real.
take them all down for real.
All right, dude. So we had the NWA promotion have a really actually a very good pay-per-view. We had Rodney Mack defeat Magic Jake Dumas.
Yeah, it's weird with Rodney Mack. I used to watch him in Lucha Underground, and he had quite the belly, even though he was quite the athlete. Now he's pretty jacked. Rodney Mack's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good.
The Mortons defeated AJ Kazana and Anthony Andrews and Jeremy Plunkett and Alex Tell. You know what I do like about NWA?
What's that?
These are names that you don't know right now.
That you probably will down
and then
the road.
You right, and they eventually
That you
you
probably
will see
will
them down the road. I
yeah.
agree.
Yep, absolutely.
Then we go to the main show. There's a video package focusing the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Mark Cardona and the Cardonas.
How about Velvet Sky being on the commentary team? Can we throw her in for
Sure,
a minute?
absolutely.
Because I absolutely think that Velvet Sky is one of the hottest women that's ever graced pro wrestling. Did I say that?
So
I just did.
How do you feel? So Bubba Ray Dudley, who we have no, what's wrong?
I just said Velvet Sky, and you bring up Bubba Ray.
Well,
can I swallow
this? Is why I'm
first?
bringing it up, right? So Bubba Ray
that what she
Dudley
said?
is making his appearance at the table,
Yeah.
announcing with Velvet Sky,
Right.
and
Got a little Tim Storm going on there, I think, at the commentating table.
yeah,
Okay.
yep, exactly.
Okay.
How do you think, since they've separated, how do you keep it professional?
I'm not sure. I really don't know. It must have been difficult to deal with Bubba when she was with him, so I don't think that would be...
I'm not even talking, let me ask you something. We spoke about this, right? There comes a point where if you're, as a man, if you're with a certain type of woman,
Right.
you know you're not going to get any better than that.
Right.
So if you're lucky enough to have that opportunity to be
Right.
with someone, yet, and again, my wife calls me shallow all the time, right? But if you're with something that beautiful and you lose it,
Nowhere to go but down.
there's nowhere to go but down. So,
Right.
do you think Bubba Ray's like sitting on the microphone looking and go, what? Like, I was the luckiest man around because I look like a fat tub of shit, and she fell for me in some way or another.
Yeah, you might want to be really nice to her for the rest of eternity. And not.
But now you got to work
go.
with her, and you're just watching a smoking,
Right.
hot...
Right. Painful.
Dude, how did the WWE never grab her up?
I have no idea. I really don't. Maybe there's something about her persona that they wanted to stay away from.
But in TNA,
Maybe it was her taste in men
In
that they wanted to stay away from.
maybe that could be
That-
the
that
case.
would do it.
That could be
That
the
probably
case.
he probably tasted like a foot.
Forget about even the way he looks, dude. Could you imagine have to deal with that guy's personality
Or breath.
every day? Well, but could you imagine watching TV with Bubba Ray? That guy's got an opinion about everything.
Right.
It's like,
What's
let's-
with the laugh track?
Yeah.
That laugh track is Velvet. Get the tables. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It
no
could get
thanks.
annoying.
Yeah. No.
A little
thanks.
bit.
Yeah. No thanks. And everything winds up. The end result is everything goes through a table. Like if he doesn't like his dinner, Velvet goes through a table. If she got the wrong bar of soap for the shower, Velvet goes through a table.
Oh, yeah.
It had to be rough. God bless that girl. What a beautiful girl. What a sweet soul. Choose wisely next time.
Aaron Stevens wrestled Trevor Murdoch in he had to lose, and if Aaron Stevens loses, he's out of wrestling or whatever.
How dare they do that?
And
to
Murdoch
Damien Sandow?
and Murdoch beats Aaron Stevens.
But by the way, what is with the obsession over in NWA with Trevor Murdoch? What do you think that is?
I don't know.
What is it?
I don't get. Look, we discussed this shows ago.
What, he cleans up the buffet leftovers or something when they
He might,
saves money?
in actuality, he might put up the ring, take down the ring, put it in the truck, drive the truck,
Eat the truck.
eat the truck. maybe. Could possibly be.
Oh my God.
Can't argue about
Hey, he's
that
a
one.
badass. I wouldn't want to fight him or anything. I ain't saying
He's
that.
a
but
badass?
I would tend to think that he's. You know what he reminds me of? He
Stop.
reminds me of like the Harley Race type. So something tells me like if you hit him with a bat, he might not know that he's been hit with a bat.
Dude, I'm not even so
No,
sure. Look,
really,
dude,
He's
I
just
understand
the
everybody.
Pillsbury
I
Punch
just
boy?
look.
Interesting.
I come on.
Interesting.
And you know what I found out? I think we discussed this too. He's really not a Murdoch.
Yeah, that's
That was very
what a bunch of
disappointing.
shit.
That was very
Yeah,
disappointing.
that was rough. What? He wasn't carrying a KKK card?
But
Wow,
again,
we're rough this week, bro. I'm sorry.
Murdoch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he might be sleeping with Billy Corgan because I'm not understanding
Smash
why.
that pumpkin.
What makes you think that should be the? That's pretty funny.
Thank you.
What makes you think that guy is going to lead your organization? I don't even get
I
it.
don't know, but let's get to what they wound up doing with him later on. We'll get to that. Okay.
I don't
God.
want to run through every match. I'll just
No,
pick up a
please
few
don't.
things.
But what about Damian Sandow getting scrubbed to this guy?
That's not scrubbed. I think
That's scrubbed.
Sandow's whatever.
Damian Sandow deserves
Probably
better than
tired
that.
of driving to Georgia to wrestle on cards no one's looking at.
Right, there you go. Yeah, that's rough.
Taya Valkyrie beat Natalia Marketoff.
Goosebumpy over that one.
What else we got here?
Please don't talk about the NWA.
I got to tell you, I watched a lot of these on YouTube,
Right.
and they were good. It was good matches.
No, of course they are. Of course they are. What is with Homicide being an NWA junior heavyweight champion? I've never looked at Homicide as a junior heavyweight champion. Did I
What'd you
miss-
look at it as?
Well, he's a heavyweight, but he's not okay.
really a
but he's not a
heavyweight.
junior heavyweight.
Yeah, he's like Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask was
Homicide is like Tiger
Yeah, it's
Mask.
like Tiger Mask.
No way. I never looked at Homicide as a junior heavyweight.
Really?
Yeah, I never did. Wow, I find it strange. I think it's a.
Do you remember back in the day, like Tiger Mask, Dynamite Kid, they were junior heavyweights.
Right. I understand that.
Which meant that you were 170 pounds. Now
I guess if you think
you're
about
an AWA heavyweight, super heavyweight in the AWA.
Well, if you're an AWA,
I mean,
AEW,
AEW.
yeah, if you're an AEW super heavyweight, you're hooked.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Scion with Austin Idol against Tom Latimer. By the way, Tom Latimer, I think he just married, what do you call it? What's her name? Blah, 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 blah. You know, the hot Camille.
Really?
Yeah, they just got married. They
Wow.
just came off there.
Good for you, Tom Latimer. Oh man, I'd never leave the house.
Okay, so let me ask you this. First of all, have you ever heard Austin Idol on the mic? Like on the announce team?
I can't say that, overall I have a really good opinion of him on the mic. Austin Idol was a good talker back in the day.
Well, I got to tell you, he's terrible as an announcer.
Wow, he's
so
failing
bad,
miserably, huh?
So bad.
I gotta reevaluate.
And it's so painful watching Velvet work with him
Trying
because
to interact?
it's just gimmicked. It's so gimmicked.
Did it sound like they were reading lines?
It's like she's playing the role of, Austin, you're annoying, and he's
Okay.
just like, I'm Austin Idol, and it's like, who? Dude, I'm sorry, Austin
Really?
Idol. Like we knew Austin
He was
Idol
cool,
from the
pretty
magazine
cool back in the day.
It's okay.
I thought he was cool. I thought he was an untapped. Like, I wonder what would have happened if.
Really?
Yeah, for me, yeah. I thought
Really?
I thought he was interesting.
With that stupid hat.
I guess it's a dime a dozen.
You remember
though.
that hat,
You know how many
right?
guys were running around with the blonde hair? I want to be Ric Flair.
Yeah,
There was a bunch.
Yeah, there was
So
so
I guess
many
he's
of them.
one of them.
And I'm Austin Idol.
Rough.
Oh please.
Woo!
Tyrus held on to his NWA Television Championship. Well, the reason they keep it on him, they want to make sure he's on Fox News.
Okay.
Here's something really good I think you'd be happy about. Doug Williams and Harry Smith won the NWA Tag Team Champion. Good
Why am
Harry
I
Smith.
so
I thought you liked Harry Smith.
Yeah, but didn't Vince have him recently and not use him or
Yeah,
something?
they let him go.
Why do you not even try to use him?
I don't know, because he's a terrible wrestler.
No, but he probably has no
mic skills.
That's probably what it was. He can wrestle. I ain't going to say that. but-
Well, whatever.
Hey, what do you think of Godzilla, Jack Stain? Big, giant, muscular, bald,
Big guy.
big motherfucker.
Listen,
why has that guy never been?
honestly, NWA is a perfect farm team for
Yeah.
the WWF.
Long Island Ducks.
Whatever you
We
want to
have the
call
Long
them.
Island Ducks out here playing.
Here was the match I
professional
was
baseball.
most into was Camille against Kylan King.
Okay.
Bubba Ray Dudley was there announcing that match.
Okay.
And after Camille beats her,
Right.
our boy Mike Knox threw Bubba Ray through a table.
one
because
more
he's mad
reason-
about aces and eights still,
Right.
Which he discussed on our
Right.
show.
That's right.
Catch on the Monty and the Farrow channel. You can hear him talk how he thinks Bubba Ray's an asshole.
How great was Mike Knox in studio, by the way?
Incredible.
I would
Unbelievable.
personally, on behalf of Monty and the Pharaoh, like to thank you, Mike Knox, for putting Bubba Ray and his fat ass through a table.
Thank you, Mike Knox,
You the man.
and I hope you do it again.
Yes.
And I got to tell you
Every
the truth.
week.
Mike Knox was so engaging in studio. I said to myself, "How isn't this guy a star?"
Yeah, you know, it was really amazing how different he was when we saw him compared to how he was presented on television. This guy could talk.
Yeah,
So I was confused.
and he was engaging and
He's
interesting,
super cool.
and 10 times better than Bubba Ray.
Absolutely, at least.
And then finally, we find out that Nick Aldis, Tom Latimer, Trevor Murdoch, and Sam Shaw in a four-way because
Right.
Cardona can't defend the title because of a torn bicep.
What happened to Zack Ryder? Man, oh man. Okay.
And so the NWA decides to put the belt on Trevor Murdoch.
What a safe decision.
It's safe?
For them it is because they figured, well, we had 4 fans watching with him and we got 4.5 with Matt, so at least we don't lose too much. It'll be go back to
Listen,
4.
I've never been...
I hate to be rough like this, but I mean, it's
I've
the truth.
never
that,
been
you know,
a
not that-
Cardona fan, but that
Right.
guy has carved his way through some stuff. I got to give him a lot of credit, man. He's done pretty good with
And
what
if I-
limited stuff he has.
And if I could say this too, it goes to show, though, what a safe WWE mark Tony Khan is. Because he's been bringing in ex-WWE guys. Only the ones that he's pushing are the ones who are already stars, like Dean Ambrose or whatever. My point is that when Bobby Lashley left the WWE, TNA made him the focus. And he wasn't a huge superstar. Let's calm down here.
No, he wasn't.
They made him a huge focus of TNA and pushed him as the guy. You don't see Tony Khan taking a Zack Ryder and elevating him to that next level through pushing the way TNA did Bobby Lashley. So my point is, Tony Khan is a safe WWE mark, or will only push the established stars he takes from him. You got no balls, Tony Khan. You should have freaking pushed Matt Cardona. If you really wanted to establish your own stars, you could have turned Matt Cardona into a bigger star in your company and elevate him perhaps the way Bobby Lashley became elevated in TNA. And if anybody thinks Vince McMahon was not impressed with Bobby Lashley's TNA push and ascension to a main event type player, you're wrong. You know? So I think Tony Khan is a sap. He took it easy.
Good point, Farrell. With
know?
that, this is This Week in Wrestling. Enjoy SmackDown, where the Tribal Chief will take on Riddle for the Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Nice.
And then after you're done with that card, you get to go watch Rampage. Anyway, have a good night. Have a great weekend. For all the fathers out there, thank you for what you do for your children. This is Mike Monty.
This is the Pharaoh, and until next week in wrestling, later.